Alright, so the first tutorial that I'm going to go through here today, I'll just start with the killer just because I tend to enjoy killer more anyway. And I do think that it is the more difficult of the two roles overall. But I will say that killer is actually easier when you first start out and at a lower level than what survivor is generally. Generally it kind of inverts. Once you start to get to like rank 10 and above, then it starts being where killer is definitely more stressful, definitely more difficult. Now obviously right now I am just a rank 17 killer, unfortunately, because it had been a long time since I played. I haven't played online in a while and I lost all my progress. They do rank reset. I think it's still every month. I'm not sure. They may have changed stats. But I guess basically the point of this video is I just want to hopefully give you guys a couple of tips to just kind of better understand like the basic strategy of the game. I mean, you have the controls, you know the controls, you know the general idea what to be doing. But I wanted to talk a little bit more about strategy, about how to actually go about playing the game. So I guess like the first thing to know, obviously each killer has their, you know, their base movement, their base attacks and whatnot. That's just, you know, simple swings, or, you know, hold the swing attack for not in a more powerful swing, but you can lunge. It'll give you a lunge. That's the word I was looking for, lunge. And basically, if you go up here to the killer screen, you can get some backstory on the characters, give you a story how they got here and all that stuff. And then right here they have their 3 teachable perks. So in this game there are a bunch of perks that are available to all killers no matter what, but then each killer has 3 unique teachable perks that are assigned to them only at first, and you can unlock them in their blood webs. Now once you get to a certain level, see, like I have gotten a lot of these guys up to level 50. Basically starting at level 30 you will be given the option in your blood web to unlock teachable perks. I already unlocked all the trappers. It's, you know, it was done a long time ago, but basically you open up the blood web, you'll spend these blood points that you get from the match. When you see those scores at the end of a match, those numbers, those are your blood points, and that's what you use in here in the blood web to unlock perks, add-ons, and offerings. So I was telling Mac earlier, when she was asking who she should buy, I told her Leatherface, the cannibal, and the biggest reason why he is so important is this perk right here. This teachable perk, barbecue and chili, is the most important perk for killers, especially when you're first starting out. Just because, so with this perk, every time you hook a new survivor, you get 25% more blood points, up to 100% extra blood points. So if, let's say you run killer, you're graded on, basically the maximum amount of blood points you can earn in a match is 32,000, because you're graded in 4 different categories, and the max you can get in each category is 8,000. 8 times 4 is 32. So basically, let's say you're running a killer match and you get 25,000 blood points. Well, with barbecue and chili at level 3, you will actually get 50,000 blood points. You get double the amount of blood points as long as you hook each survivor at least one time. Now, it does have to be a different survivor, so it is every new survivor. So if you only hook 2 survivors in that match, no matter how many times, let's say you hook them each 3 times, you'll still only get 50% extra blood points. So you'd get 12.5 extra blood points. You'd have to put 37.5 total for that match. But any extra blood points that you can get is huge, because when you look at the blood web here, I mean, at lower levels, when you know, levels 1 through, you have a lot less blood points you have to get, but you look like, you know, even these gray items you could spend on, even they are 3,000 points total, which is just, you know, that's like the worst. And then like the more expensive ones, the best ones, these purple and red ones, are usually 6,000 and 7,000. So if you think about that, like, you can see like how expensive these blood webs can get. And that's why having barbecue and chili is so important. Now, in addition, it's also one of the best perks like in use in game, because every time you hook a survivor, it will also give you a that outline of the survivors and where they are on the map for 4 seconds. If they're outside of, usually if they're outside of your terror radius, then you will see where they are on the map, and that can give you an idea where you need to go next and where you need to go hunting for, which gens that you need to really be trying to protect. So that's why Cannibal is so important, and this is really when you actually go online and when you're actually trying to level up killers. When you're playing custom games, and it's obviously all for fun, all the perks and add-ons and everything are already unlocked, so obviously it's not that huge of a deal. But yeah, so basically I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna start a match here. I'm gonna start with Trapper. He is by far my favorite killer. I just had the most fun finding good places to place traps. It's kind of like it's a literal cat and mouse game basically. These are different blood point offerings. Grant 75% extra blood points in the hunting category. It's one of the 4 categories you'll be graded on in the game. I love Corrupt Intervention. Barbecue and Chili, obviously I always run it, even though you can never have enough blood points. I mean, I still need to level up so many different killers. I don't like Enduring and Spear of Fury, so I'm gonna probably, I'm gonna run Infectious Fright. This is a good one. I like this a lot. If you down a survivor and there's another survivor within your terror radius, when you down a survivor, that other survivor that's in your terror radius will then scream and you can get their position. This is really good if you got survivors who are going to come in with flashlights and stuff, and they'll try and make saves, because then you can go and attack them right away. And I like Pop Goes the Weasel. Pop Goes the Weasel is basically after you hook a survivor, you have 60 seconds or 45 seconds to go and kick a gen. And when you kick that gen, it actually loses 25% of its progress, 25% total progress, which is honestly huge, because the biggest aspect, the biggest and most important thing in this game is all about time. Whether you're a survivor or killer, time is the biggest factor that you need to be paying attention to in this game. So when I play Trapper, I always want to have a Stitch Bag, because Trapper is not a good killer at base. This is one thing that every killer has a power, but some killers' powers are useful when it comes to just normal chases, like the Nurse, for example, because she can blink through objects, she can catch up to you really fast. Hillbilly, obviously, is Chainsaw. You can get a one-shot down, you can be traversing all the way across the map, so they're good in chase. Trapper's power is just setting traps, but the problem is that when you only have one, you're only able to carry one trap at a time, and you can only place one trap at a time. It just takes way too much time away while you're trying to run. So these bags allow you to carry more traps and also start with more traps, which is just absolutely huge. And then I use the fastening tools, which just allows me to set the traps a lot faster, as well as gives the rescue and escape time from bear traps more, and reduces the chance of. So these are my usual go-to perks when I run Trapper, just to take advantage of the timing of the match. So trying to think. Hopefully we'll find a game pretty quickly here. So I guess my biggest things that I have to harp on, it is all about time in this game. I'm a little bit worried because I'm at rank 17 and it's not really where I should be, and I hope these games don't. I hope this is actually a decent representation of what to do when you're playing killer. But yeah, time. Always think about the time. You want to constantly be pressuring on all 4 survivors. You don't ever want to let you really hopefully you're juggling survivors, and you can kind of have an idea where every survivor is on the map, or have like a general direction. You really don't want to be tunneling in on one survivor, because tunneling in on one survivor and spending a lot of time chasing them and whatnot, that can really cost you big time, because there are gens all across the map and you don't know what's going on. Like, you need to prolong those gens getting done as long as you absolutely can. So go ahead and ready up here. No idea what we're getting into here, but we shall see. So when I start out, the thing with Trapper is he's a little bit different than other killers, is he's more of a late game killer in the sense, and that's a big reason why I use this Corrupt Intervention perk. This is actually a Plague perk, so I guess I wasn't even but I think this is another one of the great perks in the game, so leveling up Plague is also a good idea, I think, to be able to get this. This is a really good slowdown perk, and it blocks the 3 furthest gens that spawn from you, and that just, you know, is easier to patrol 5 gens rather than 8 to start with, and you really want to keep the survivor's hands off of gens as much as possible. But with Trapper, he's a little bit different than other killers in that a lot of the early game is me setting up traps. Not trying to find survivors right away. I'm trying to find the most ideal spots for traps and picking up my traps all across the map. So it's and that's the thing with each killer, is that each killer you kind of come in with a different strategy, and all that stuff just comes with time. You just want to know how to use your time. And what I was saying earlier about the, you know, some powers help in chase and others don't. Basically, Trapper is just like a mouse 1, which is just your basic attack killer, unless you get those traps down, which you don't want to be doing, because survivors have a huge advantage when it comes to chases and running from killers. Not one-on-one. One-on-one killers are faster. But the problem is that if survivors are able to use their resources effectively, which are pallets and windows and whatnot, they're basically just trying to prolong their own death for as long as they can while their teammates can do gens. And I'll talk about that more when I do the survivor tutorial, because that's also something to remember, is the time is super important for the survivors as well. When you're playing survivor, if you're not being chased, you should be doing gens. Like, that's like the most important thing. You don't want to be, you know, creeping around and hiding around the map, although I know that that's like the obvious instinct, but you want to get as much done early on in the game as you can to put more pressure on the killer. That's the most important thing. I mean, if you're sitting around and hiding from the killer early on, you're doing exactly what they want you to do. And that's kind of, you know, I love that when survivors do that as killer, because it makes your job so much easier. And survivors or killers stressful. It's very, very stressful. But I think I'm a better killer than I am survivor, and I have way more fun as killer than I do as survivor. And I lost my connection. All right. All right. So after the unfortunate disconnect, we're back. One note, because of the disconnect, I actually did lose my purple Trapper bag, which is kind of annoying, but it's okay. The other Trapper bag is you can still carry 2 extra traps, and you start off with 1 extra trap, so you can still carry 3 max, so it doesn't change a whole lot. Either bag will do. Those bags, like I said, are very important though, because you can transport more traps, and it'll be much easier for you to kind of set up your minefield of traps. And you also want to make sure that you don't waste traps. It has been a while since I've played Trapper Live, so I'm not sure how this is going to go, but it did feel really good to play with them the other day, so I hope I can keep that going. Actually give you guys a good, I guess, I don't know if tutorial is the right word, but just a good idea on how I play them and what maybe you should be looking for. The thing I'll say is PS4 is so slow. Oh my gosh, it's so slow. I can't wait to build a gaming PC. Alright, so right here I'm already starting in a spot where I'm going to want to have a trap somewhere. So I'm going to use the term loop quite a bit, and I don't like what I just did there. I wasted time. So I like to trap windows. Basically, when you trap windows, you kind of want to trap them sideways and kind of right in the middle so that they cannot avoid them. I know it seems weird just by that way. This might be a bit of a cheeky trap. They might not see coming. They probably will see it coming, especially after they realize. And so I try to find high traffic areas. Obviously, we can maybe remove this loop here. Thank you for Jen. This is another thing. Always be very aware of your senses. Okay, so they're off somewhere. I saw a trap. I can't always find what I'm looking for. So the other survivors are here probably watching me somewhere, but I'm going to leave him be. I'm going to set a trap here, hopefully take care of this. If you set them in grass, see right here, I wish I had a trap in my arm because I could have set that. So this loop right here is really, really solid. And a loop, because I'm going to say that multiple times, a loop is basically an area with a window and a pallet. And that is one of the survivors' best tools of defense. He's gonna run around it, and I'm sure he's gonna not do what I thought he was gonna do. I hope he runs to one of these pallets that I've trapped. Yeah, he is. He's gonna run right up. I don't actually want him to. See, here's infectious spray. All 3 survivors are right here. That's huge, and I'm gonna kind of push them towards other traps. I want them to go to that pallet over there. I want to push this Fang to this pallet and hopefully trap her. Nope, never mind. We got the bill. So this is beautiful. And they're both right there. I should not be picking up the bill here. I should have been picking up the David because he was on the ground more. He's trying. My suspicion is that they are on mics together. That was a really dumb move on her part. But these guys seem like they are on mics in Survive with Friends, which always makes things more stressful because survivors can. What are you doing all the way over here? Will she step on my trap? I think she might. Oh, so I didn't set that trap up in the right spot. That's my fault. But in a lot of cases, that trap should have gotten her. I set it too far away. I swung through that so I wouldn't get caught. She's going to get there. I knew she was going to drop that. And I missed that as well. So I tried a cheeky play there. It didn't work. That's okay. I'm actually going to leave her once this blindness goes away. Got myself turned around. So I need to reposition this trap because I messed that up. So I'm just going to leave that actually because that pallet's gone now. So that loop is already not all that effective. Healing. There's 2 people up there and 1 right there. There she is. Infectious is such a good perk. I will say a lot of times you can be. In ideal circumstances, I would have liked to have trapped this. I'm gonna set a trap right here. Which is not an ideal spot for a trap on Shack Pallet, by the way. Shack Pallet is the best loop in the game. It's damn near an infinite until that pallet gets dropped. An important thing to remember, because I've seen Demi doing this quite a bit, is you want to make sure that you're breaking pallets when they get dropped, because you need to get those pallets out of the way. It is the survivor's greatest resource, and you do not want them to have it. Yeah. Wow. Wow! She's gonna drop it. Yeah, and she stunned us. That's alright. Hopefully, she's not gonna do it. She's got a really good flashlight. Well, Shack Pallet's out of the way, so that is a good thing. This pallet is not, though, so I'm actually going to try and trap it, because it is right by a gen. Unfortunately, we've lost a lot of pressure on the survivors here. That Fang is pretty good. But I heard... he dead-hearted through that, I believe. I'm not going to be able to get to that Fang before she gets out. Maybe I could have. It may have been worth trying. But it's alright. So I mentioned pressure. you want to keep pressure on this team as much as possible. So now you see my barbecue and chili hiding up right there. I just saw this person go into a locker. He might have either head on or... Yep, she had head on, see? I knew it was coming, but I did it anyway, just to see what happens. Ah, that trap by that gen worked. You see that? So, yeah, you just want to be unpredictable with where you're placing them. That's literally the most important thing with Trapper. Mix it up, do different things. Nice thing is that when traps do get set off, you don't have to pick them back up to reset them anymore. You can hit, it's L2 on, so they're healing over here. All three of them. One of them is self-carrying, which self-carrying is really inefficient. And I'm going to talk about that when I do the survivor stuff. It takes so long. It's very, very inefficient and wastes a lot of time. I wish I had more traps down right now, because I have a lack of traps down right now. So I'm kind of just continuing to put pressure. It's also okay, because we had a lot of pressure early on. We've gotten some hooks early on. I have not seen this go use an exhaustion perk yet. So I want to, yeah. So what she's doing right there is she is trying to get my attention because she wants to waste my time so that her teammates can come over and do something. That is what good survivors will do. You've seen me and Ghost both do it as well. If there's a survivor trying to get your attention, the best thing you can do is ignore them. Do not give them what they want, because they've already put themselves in a good position where they can kind of take advantage of you. Meaning they're going to go to an area that has a really strong pallet, some good windows. You know, there's all kinds of different things that they can use. Yeah. She's up here. It's fine. That's fine. I want to... Yes! Probably too far away. And it's probably not even worth... Because she's probably going to have help. She does have someone helping her. And when someone helps them... Yeah. See, they're already out. I knew that was happening. I really messed up my swing. It was my fault on the joysticks. That should have been a down. So when you miss, you know, missing swings and stuff, that can really, really come back to haunt you. I knew that was going to happen. That's fine. I'm fine with it. Go ahead and blind me. It sucks. I'm going to set one right here, just in case someone runs through here, because they might, and I'm going to pick this trap up. I need to get more traps down. I don't know what they're doing over here, to be honest. This is what you don't want to be doing right here. Right over here. Do not stand out in the middle of the map, or on the edge of the map. When you stand out by the edge of the map, you don't have any, you have no protection. You have no pallets, you have no windows to use to escape the killer. You're just in the middle of a dead zone. I'm really happy this person stepped on that trap. Yeah. Yeah, see, these guys are very predictable at loops. You're not always going to do that. This guy, because he's throwing, you do not want to throw pallets immediately. And he's gonna, oh wow, he didn't run into my trap. He's not very good. The teabagging's, you know, that's what happens. They want to teabag to show that they're good at the game or something. But what you don't want to do is do what he did. He threw that pallet immediately when he could have continued to run me around this loop at least one more time before wasting that pallet. That's what you do not want to do. I'll talk more about that when I play some Survivor. I know there are flashlights. So the thing about flashlights is, if you know that the survivors have them in the map, if you can, you want to try and pick them up looking at a wall, because it's much harder for them to actually get a flashlight off. And there we are. This is why barbecue and chili is such a great perk. Right here, I already knew. Now they ended up messing up the skill check anyway, so they would have alerted me to them being over here. But I know they're both healing over here, so I know either of them. Okay, so it looks like that Bill actually had a perk called Deliverance, which I think you guys may have heard me talking about in our games. That happens when you get an unhook. If you get an unhook before your first hook, I literally just set this. Or David's the one that has Deliverance. So as you see, they've been stepping in my traps a lot, and it helps. It's been obviously biggest helper. It gets them injured easily. You can pick them up straight out of the trap. I've barely used any Pop Goes the Weasel. That's the one thing that I have not taken advantage of is my pop. But it's okay. We already have one dead. There's still 3 gens left. They're in a really tough position. I think I heard him. Yeah, I knew it. Okay. I was right. That's alright. That is fine. So I want to try and... So what I'm doing right here is I don't want her to go to the left. I do not want her to go to the building. I want her to go towards the tile that I have a trap at for that to happen. So when I was chasing her, I didn't get straight behind her because I wanted her to stay to the right. You want to cut off their route. I knew that I had a trap over here, and this is, I said tile. A tile is an area, is just like, you know, a structure. Walls with pallets and windows. It's an easy way to refer to them. But when she was running over here, I wanted to stay on this side so that she was forced to go this way and couldn't get to the building. Because that building is a very, very strong loop and a very strong position for the survivors. Now this right here, I just reset the trap that was already on the ground. She's going to see that, and she may even come over, and I'm going to get rid of this door. So with this door here, this is one of the stronger loops on this map. Now it used to be even more ridiculous than it is now. But they've changed a lot of those pallets to make it even harder to loop around players. So I hit pop right there. I didn't even check my barbecue and chili. I went straight for that trap. That's fine. I'm trying to multitask a lot over here. I see that both these gens are going absolutely insane. That's fine. That's actually really good. We stopped a gen from being progressed. Even if that gen were to get popped right now, it's okay. It's still a win because it saves us some time. She was gonna try and flashlight us. I hope she's not gonna run right into that trap again, or she might try and disarm it right now. I don't know. So my hope. Oh, I think I saw some scratch marks. So the one thing that I am in a bit of a disadvantage as killer because I'm colorblind. So following blood trails and stuff is actually really difficult for me, and also the scratch marks used to really confuse me. I'm assuming it's actually easier for you. I don't know what this David is doing. I think he maybe has given up. Maybe a free hit. He might just want to try and check out this loop, show some skills. I don't know. That was a really bad route. He's probably upstairs and he's gonna fall off of the yeah, he is. Yep, dead hard. He dead harded away from that. That's okay. See if he goes. He's gonna go for that window and get trapped. I'm surprised. I thought he would have seen me trapped in this window. It's okay. And sometimes you can just put obvious traps and they're not even gonna think about it. They'll forget, or they maybe not see you. That's okay. A hook. I wanted to get to kind of a faraway hook. So the thing about you know, perk like barbecue and chili is if you're gonna hook in the middle of the map, you're gonna take a risk of not being able to see the person that you're looking for. And I do not see them, so that means they're close. So now it just becomes a game of find the hatch. And a common, there's no telling where the hatch is gonna spawn. It hadn't spawned yet because they didn't have enough gens complete. But now it just randomly spawns throughout the map. The shack, the killer shack that I just went to, that's a common spot. Here it is. I don't see them anywhere. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna trap this door and then try and hightail my ass to the other side. To cut off the other door before it opens. If she's already there, then it's GG. She's gonna get out. But I'm gonna trap this, and then I'll know if she comes to this door. Problem is these doors are so spread apart. Sometimes as a killer you'll get lucky and you'll have two doors that are somewhat close together. I mean, this is just death as far as end game goes. I really should have thought about that. So this is nice. So she actually was not here. So now it'll just become a game of back and forth. because they won't be able to open the doors without disarming my trap, and I'll get a notification when they disarm the trap. So I can kind of stand in the middle and wait. And the other possibility is sometimes there's a mechanic called a key where they can open a hatch. So if they had a key by chance, you could open the hatch. And the nice thing is that with the endgame collapse, you only have like 3 minutes to get out or something. So they can't open. Basically, this guy is pretty much screwed because she's not even starting the... Oh, there she is. Yep. So I just ran into my trap. That's alright. She's dead regardless. I still get credit for the kill. There's nothing she can really do. She might even step in that trap. Yeah, she's gonna try and head on me. But I'm just gonna watch her die. It's alright. So, sorry if I didn't have the greatest of explanations. I've never tried to, like, yeah, who knows. I've never tried to explain what I was doing while playing the game, so I'm not experienced at doing that. So I hope this was helpful as a killer. If it is, and you want me to like do the same thing for some other killers, give you some more tips, I will. It's totally up to you. But like the big takeaways here, time is everything. If you notice, I never spent a whole bunch of time chasing one survivor. There were survivors that I knew were solid. This guy right here, that one who just died, was solid, and she tried to get my my attention throughout the match and take me on loops and have me chase her, but I did not take that bait because I know that's just going to waste your time. I kept hitting everyone, multitasking, keeping pressure all the way across the map is so important. You never want to just, you know, if you only have one survivor injured and you're just going after that person to down them, you're not really doing anything because you're not slowing down the other 3 survivors whatsoever. If you're hitting multiple people, making sure that you're not being ran around good loops. Like if there's a good loop, you need to just abandon it. There was a game that I was playing with Ghost, one of our games we were playing with Ghost, and I was Ghostface against him, and in his map I kind of abandoned what I should do, and I just kind of chased him around, and that loop, it would just kill me because there was just window after window, TNL wall after TNL wall. But that's beside the point. Basically, that's kind of like the basic the basic idea of playing killer. Trapper, like I said, is so much fun. I love setting up traps. I love zoning survivors and pushing them towards traps that I know that I have set up because they have nowhere else to go and they have to use them. So that's one nice thing about the Trapper and why I love him so much. Yeah, key takeaways: time, keep pressure, work on those, like focus on stopping those gens, and keep, you know, if you have 3 survivors injured, that means they're probably going to waste time healing, which is great. You want survivors to be wasting time healing. You don't want one survivor injured chasing them around the map and have 3 healthy survivors just being able to pound out gens, because you're just going to get destroyed at the end of the day. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I hope this helped you out a little bit and helped you understand some more basic ideas when it comes to killer. And in the next video, I'm gonna move over to survivor and we'll go from there, which is probably gonna be death because I'm gonna be matched with a whole bunch of other low tier survivors probably. So we'll see how that goes.